Welcome to day 258 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother, Brian, and we have a special guest here for the second time ever on our morning show, Tal Anaya from DeSo. How's it going,
Hello.
Tal?
Good. How are you? Good to see you guys again.
Good. It's been a
Good. Good
while,
to see
like
you.
probably, what, 3 months or so since you were on
Yeah,
here last?
it has been. I took a step away. It's always nice to kind of take a refresher and jump back in the mix. But it allowed me some time to work on some projects. So thanks for having me again.
Yeah, and we're going to get to a NFT project that you're working on using DSphere in just a
Yeah.
little bit. Then we'll just touch on some of the news first. First, I want to say these videos are sponsored by the NFT project Cloutcox.
Yeah, Cloudcox, they minted a new piece yesterday and auctioned it off, Grinchcock, and it actually ended with two winning bidders. They both had the same exact bid of 1.5 DeSo, and they had to flip a coin. And basically, the winner was the one that won the coin toss, and it was Refined Entertainment, I guess, and they beat out Scrutinize, and it was a pretty cool new cock, Grinch cock. Check it out. Go to the page. It's a pretty funny one.
I feel like I'm five.
These are chickens.
Every day
We're talking
we
about
do.
chickens.
2 weeks
for
we
your
had to talk
information.
about this. No, it's really a cool project though.
That's awesome. I've seen it. It looks really awesome. I love the artwork on it.
Yeah, the artwork's really good. I really enjoy looking at them. So let's get on with some of the news. Yesterday, Natter made a comment. It was in a reply to another post. I forget who made the original post, but so we all know that Natter is going to invest into NFT projects. He said he was going to do that in the past, and he has. He's put a lot of money into NFT projects, both by buying the coin and by buying a bunch of NFTs. He's done it with Spookies. He's done it with several projects. But people were wondering when he was going to continue doing that. And he gave an answer, and he said he's waiting for a big listing. I think we can all assume that's Coinbase. And then he's going to be investing into NFTs. And I think that has a lot to do with, once we get that Coinbase listing, all the attention is going to be on DeSo.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely right. I think he's waiting for the attention to be brought on, and then the new user will be like, oh, wow, somebody just bought all these NFTs. Maybe I should invest. And it was a founder of DeSo.
It will motivate artists to, be like, oh, wow, the creator of DeSo is buying NFTs, buying up all these NFTs. Maybe I can get him to buy some of mine. So I think it's a good motivational tactic. I think it's a good marketing tactic if we wait until Coinbase. So I think it's a good idea. What do you think, Tal?
I think it's a great idea. Coinbase is like the gateway drug for crypto for a lot of people. I know it was for me. So I think we do need more exposure in the NFT marketplace as a whole to go against Ethereum, Sol, for instance. And all it really takes is a few really good projects that are promoted outside of DeSo and brought back onto the platform, bringing people a reason to buy the coin so they can buy the NFT project. So I think that synergy is going to work well for NFTs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yesterday, also, Who Am I? He went and bought two coins. He bought Rowdy Reptilians and Story, and he put $10,000 into both these coins. So, I mean, Rowdy Reptilians NFT project. Who Am I? Is it Natter? Natter or Natter's, other personality maybe. But they put $20,000 into two big coins. One's an NFT project, like I said, and the other's the upcoming Story app, which is being created by DesignStot and Ribble. I said Ribble, but that's not right.
Two great projects. And Rowdy Reptilians, they sold out, I think, 420 NFTs within like minutes. And it was just remarkable. And Chris Illuminati is the one behind it. He's done so many cool projects, and he's definitely an upcoming star on DeSo. So way to go, Chris. And he deserves it. And of course, Story Designs, they've been here since the beginning, working with Rabal. I'm sure it's going to be an incredible app, probably integrate into CloutFeed. So I'm looking forward to that, and they deserve it as well.
Yeah, and Rowdy Reptilians was designed using, not designed, but they used DSphere, which is something that you're working on and you're working with on your NFT project, Tal and I, and we're going to get to that in just like 2 minutes probably. But I want to hear about how DSphere works, and you can explain that. So Alex Velatus was around the community, both on Discord and on DeSo yesterday, really taking part in discussions, really taking feedback from the community and answering a lot of questions. And yesterday he said that he's brought somebody on to run the hackathons. This is one of the 5 hirings we talked about yesterday, and this person's going to be announced very shortly. I think it's exciting. I think, you know, the hackathons are exciting as well.
Well, initially it was thought that Alex would be heading up the hackathons, but I assume that he's taking more of a community role and one behind the Octane Fund away from the hackathon. So hiring somebody just to dedicate to hackathons, I think that's impressive. And that means that we're probably going to have a string of hackathons throughout the beginning and middle of next year.
Yeah, and Alex also said that DiamondApp is hiring an engineer to build a mobile experience. So, you know, does this challenge CloutFeed? It's going to be interesting to see how DiamondApp's mobile version challenges CloutFeed, or, you know, competes with CloutFeed. Maybe they'll, you know, maybe it's going to take some users from CloutFeed. I don't know.
Well, I think that there's more than enough room for 2 apps, and I think that only positives can come from two competing different apps on the blockchain, and I think you'll see that we'll get new features on each of these, and they'll kind of differentiate from one another as they expand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an excellent point. Are you a CloutFeed user, Talanaya?
Sometimes I go between apps. I go between DiamondApp. I go between CloutFeed. I go between the main node. And I love trying to understand the different experiences, also because I'm building my own as well on Discover node. So just understanding different user experiences and what kind of flow goes through all of them, I think it's really interesting, and they're both great applications. It just really depends on your preference, and I think it's nice to have options in the marketplace.
Yeah, it's funny. I still use BitClout for some things. I use DiamondApp for other things. I use NFTZ when I'm doing the NFTs.
Yeah.
And I use CloutFeed, especially when I give out a lot of diamonds to new users. I use CloutFeed. So I think it's just going to become like this ecosystem where you can use all these different apps for different needs. When Story comes out, you'll be able to use Story to, you know, create stories. And I'm sure there'll be an Instagram-like app. And there's going to be so much. There's going to be supernovas who, you know, utilize NFTs as well. So I don't think, you know, that there's going to be competition, but there's also, each app's going to differentiate itself in some way. And whatever, these apps are also going to be bringing people onto DeSo. And when that happens, it's good for the whole ecosystem. So, you know, like if Supernovas brings a bunch of NFT artists onto DeSo, that's good for NFTZ and it's good for Polygram. And same for if, you know, CloutFeed brings users on, it's great for DiamondApp, and DiamondApp brings people on, is good for all the other nodes out there. So I think we got to look at that on the bright side, because that's all going to increase the value of DeSo.
Agreed. Yeah, let's see what works and edges ahead in the grand scheme of things. So
yeah, and Alex also said that they're looking to hand out more developer grants before the next cohort. So we might see more sooner. More developer grants are going to be going out sooner. So I think that's really good news too. I think there's 20 plus right now, as last I heard, 20 plus developer grants and about 12 plus equity investments. So if those numbers go up, it's just a great thing for DeSo.
Yeah, he didn't say they are for sure going to hand out grants before the next cohort, but he said that they may. So if you do have a project that you're looking for a grant, I'm guessing if you reach out to Alec, maybe you can get a grant before they actually move on to this next cohort, which from everything I'm hearing is probably going to be within the first like 2 or 3 months of next year.
Yeah. So let's get on to what you're doing, Tal. I know you have this NFT project, Eggheads. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Eggheads, I've been wanting to do an NFT project, and I really wanted to do something with utility, something with resources attached to it, but also that represented my personality and what I think of DeSo as a whole in my experience so far. So Eggheads is an island full of eggheads, and they escaped the rest of the world because they were tired of all of the shallowness and the mediocrity of just the way of thinking on the mainland. But unfortunately, their plane crashed on the way to a smarter land, and they found an abandoned island. And so they created an academy, Eggheads Academy. And with Eggheads Academy is our utility for Eggheads. So with every Eggheads that someone has, they actually they'll have access to Eggheads Academy. So at the closeout of Eggheads, once we're sold out, we're doing 1,212 Eggheads. And once it's done, we're going to launch Egghead Academy, and everyone who has an Egghead will have access to NFT resources. So they'll learn how to create their own NFTs from scratch. If they want to do a generative project, for instance, like Eggheads is, they'll be able to learn how to do their own. They'll also have a potential, when we have an Easter egg hunt in April, to win prizes, one of them being access to DSphere. So DSphere was born out of me telling Alex, smart Alec, that I want to do a generative NFT project, kind of like Bored Apes Yacht Club, right? Pulling attributes and, you know, having a random mint. So he's like, okay. And he went into his office and got to town and created DSphere. And yeah, he's been doing well with it. And I wasn't ready to launch at the time. So he went with Octoposse. He's done Rowdy Reptilians. He's done a lot of great projects thus far. And they've worked really well. And so behind the scenes, Eggheads is actually part of the use case. So we're usually trying to do different things and different actions that we can try to see what we can do with NFTs to see how algorithms work to create rarities, for merge minting, we're trying different ideas out. So, but it's fun. It's fun. So working with DSphere and having my first NFT project, Eggheads on DeSo, was really something that we've been wanting to do for a while. So here it is.
Yeah, so Badass Baboons and what is it, Uncanny
Collection.
Uncanny Collection are also built on DSphere. So that's amazing that the idea came from you and all these projects utilized it, and now you're doing it with Eggheads. So if somebody wants to mint an Egghead, how can they go about doing that?
Sure, they can go to eggheadisland.com, or they can go straight to mint.eggheadisland.com and mint an Egghead. And the great thing about the utility is that it passes on. So if you can give someone an Egghead, you can transfer an Egghead, and they will have, or you can sell your Egghead, and they will still have access to the Egghead Academy and all the resources. And so there are a lot of more things that to come. In summer of next year, we're going to have the Dirty Dozen Burn series. So we'll also be releasing some different cool features with DSphere along with that, and testing those features out. So you'll be able to, you know, as they say, you can't make an omelet without cracking some eggs. So there's going to be a lot of fun surprises and things to go along with Eggheads.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love the utility of a generative series like that. And you being so closely smart, Alec, I'm sure you got to work with him and really kind of innovate in your ideas. So that's awesome. I love what you're doing with that. You also mentioned this discovery node.
Yes.
What's that going to be?
So right now, so Alex says that my ideas are sometimes too big because what I want to do, and he's a one-man show. So he's like, let's pull it back a little. So I'm like, okay, fine. But so we have a node that we set up, and it's up and running, but we need to change provider. So no one go on there yet, don't have the experience yet. I'll let you guys know when it's ready. But Discover Node is going to be an application in itself. And it's going to be the epitome of exactly what you hear in the word discover. The ability to discover different users, different NFTs, just really segmented and attributed to what it is that you prefer and the things that you want to see in your feed.
That's really
awesome.
Cool.
I think that one thing that we all need to be able to discover are the new users. And I think that none of the apps out there right now really caters to that. So consider that when you're developing it, like a new user feed or something like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, any ideas you guys have, please.
What's the roadmap look like for that? Like, are we talking in a month from now you'll be ready to launch it, or?
Should I bring Smart Alec in here and ask?
Sure. Bring him in.
I think he's babysitting our puppies right now, but
bring the puppies
Alec, get in here.
I should call him. Alec. Yeah, so the roadmap on there is when Alec has bandwidth. Right now with DSphere, like the NFT market is so hot. I don't blame him for putting my project and this project on the back burner right now. So, like, hey, do it, it's been
No,
working well.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So I will, we're hoping we're switching out the node provider over the weekend. So at least they'll have like a base start for people to be able to have another node to access and to utilize. And we're trying to work on making verification easier because I know that's important to a lot of the OG big cloud users. So we definitely want to give like, the credit where credit's due in that way for the people who've been around since like numero uno. And, from there, we'll just try to slowly but surely develop something that we're really proud of.
Cool. That sounds really, really interesting. I look forward to seeing it. Also, you mentioned before we started filming that you're writing a sci-fi book, sci-fi novel. What's it about? Is it about like Web 3.0?
Oh my God. You know what? That might be my next book. So it's called Seed, and I just sent the final proof off to the publisher and for printing. And it's a sci-fi novel based on the origin of man. So if you ever wondered a different take on where we're all from, besides the Big Bang Theory or God, there is another twist to it. So that's what it's about.
You should NFT the ebook of it and do like
I
a
did.
limited. Oh, did you? Really?
Yeah, I did one page of an NFT when we first started doing NFTs on DeSo, and it was for 50 copies, I believe. So if you bought the NFT, you would get a signed copy upon release. No one bought it though. I don't think people are ready for book NFTs yet.
I don't know. Sounds like a cool idea to me.
Thank you.
It might still be sci-fi. Maybe we're still behind the curve in that. Maybe another 20 years and everybody's gonna be NFTing books.
I mean, I was just watching like Knight Rider yesterday. It's on Netflix again. And I mean, dude was talking into his watch and we're doing that now.
Is that the new Knight Rider or the old one?
The old one.
The old one, yeah. I used to be a fan.
Yeah.
And now like Teslas do everything that the car does.
Exactly. All you need is a Tesla and an iWatch and you're Michael Knight.
All right. Well, it was awesome having you on the show. I think you and Smart Alec. So Alec, is he your fiance?
He's my husband now. We got married.
You got married. When was that? Last time I saw you, he was just your fiance.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we met you guys in Miami in June, and you were fiance. He was your fiance.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're like a power team on DeSo.
Oh,
power couple. DeSo's power couple.
I like that title. Yay. Thank you.
That's amazing. It was great having you on, and like we tell all our guests, whenever you want to come on again, just let us know. You're entertaining and you provide a lot of insight.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and I can't wait to hang out in person again and buy another round of Manhattans.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it.
Also, thank you guys. Have a great day.
You too.